Notice, and this is the point we're making, is that God never refused healing to anyone. That healing is always God's perfect will for people. He never said no to her. He just said, you're early. You're not a Jew. You are trying to get something that hasn't been offered to you yet. You are really trying to do something that it's not time yet. Of course, healing and the gospel was going to be offered to Gentiles in a very short time, but she was early. However, he never said no. And I believe that Jesus knew this woman had faith and she had what it took to and had the resolve to get what she came for. I believe Jesus knew how this was going to turn out. That's just my opinion. But he didn't make it easy for her. He actually said that she was a dog. Now, Jews considered Gentiles dogs. They considered them as outsiders. And so he even said that. He said, it's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. You might say, well, then God's not going to heal her. It's not God's will to heal her. That's not what he said. He said that she was there too soon. She was an outsider. This wasn't a covenant that God had made yet. It was the covenant that he had made with Abraham and his descendants. Healing was part of the old covenant. But the new covenant hadn't started yet. So Gentiles, all of us were still outsiders at that time. Yet, he never said, no, I'm not going to do it. He never said, it's not my will to heal you. He never said, you're never going to receive anything until I'm raised from the dead, until I do what I've come to do. He never said that. He just said, you're an outsider. This woman was, even though she was called an outsider or a dog, and I mean, most people, if a preacher or a person, even a fellow believer, called them a dog, they would be a little bit offended, maybe have their feelings hurt, maybe try to find another church. Who would want to go to a church or try to get help from a pastor that says, now, I'm not going to help you. You're a dog. You're not one of us. And she really was, she was a Gentile, and she knew that. She didn't let that slow her down one bit. In fact, I believe she was going to continue her quest until God himself said, I'm not going to do it. And you just don't see that. You don't see God telling people in the New Testament. You never see Jesus saying, I'm not going to do it. You never see Jesus saying, God put this sickness on you to teach you something, and you haven't learned it yet, so I'm going to leave you sick. You never see Jesus making someone sick and telling them you're going to be sick until you learn your lesson. You never see Jesus saying, I'm not going to heal you because it's not my will for you to be healed. This is as close as it comes. And even in this instance, when she came to get something that she had no right, no covenant for at the time, she still got her healing. She still got her deliverance. She still got her miracle. Why? Because it's always God's will to deliver and to bless. He's the blesser. He's the helper. He's the God that's the Jehovah Rapha, the Lord our physician, the Lord our healer. Now, everything is different now. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. We now, Gentiles, we were just like this woman. We were outsiders. But now, because of Jesus' resurrection, Christ has redeemed us, not just the Jews, but all of us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come upon the Gentiles through Jesus Christ. That's Galatians 3:13 and 14. So now we are the seed of Abraham. We do have a covenant with God. And healing is part of that covenant. Salvation is part of that covenant. And blessing is part of that covenant. But at this time it wasn't. But even at that, God never said, I'm not going to do it. It's not my will. You're going to have to stay in the shape you are in until the new dispensation, the new covenant begins. He didn't say that. Her faith put her at the front of the line. Her faith gave her an audience with God, and her faith would not allow her to give up and turn away. She realized her state. She realized that she was an outsider. She didn't stop there. He called her an outsider, then he called her a dog, and she said this, "Yes, Lord, I understand I'm early. I understand I'm an outsider. I understand I don't have a covenant with God. But even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table." That is such a powerful statement. Now, I believe Jesus set this woman up to showcase her faith. But everything I've said so far is true about this case. It looked like it wasn't going to happen. Then the experts could say, see, God doesn't always heal. It's not always God's will to deliver. It's not all. See, He didn't do it for her. Well, He did do it for her. She stood her ground, and she was basically saying, I understand I have no rights and no privileges. I understand I'm not an insider, but your own people don't believe you. Your own people aren't taking you at your word. There are Jews that don't believe you're the Messiah. They're not accepting and receiving the blessings you're offering them. I'll just take some leftovers. I'll take what they don't want. I just need a little bit. I'll just take whatever I can get today from my daughter. What a beautiful interaction she had. You know, this just shows us how important it is. If you want to receive something from God and you haven't received it, it didn't come easily necessarily, don't give up. Don't take the fact that you haven't received your manifestation as an indication that it's not God's will or it's not going to happen. She was determined to stay before God and to pray and get to the bottom of this. And she got her answer. The principle at work here is seek and you'll find, knock and it'll be open, ask and you shall receive. And that really means ask and keep on asking, seek and keep on seeking, knock and keep on knocking. And some people give up too easily. You know, we many times give the doctor more commitment, dedication, and we're more faithful to the doctor than we are to God. People allow the doctors to prescribe medications and practices, and it doesn't work, and they come back and they try something else, and that doesn't work, and they come back and they try something else. And you know, and they'll give God one chance. They pray, and if nothing happens, they move on. We need to give God an opportunity to work with us. There may be reasons that we're not receiving from God, that we're unaware of, but give it time. Give the Holy Spirit time to open your eyes and help you get in position to receive from God. Now, it shouldn't be hard. Jesus did all the work. We're not like this woman at this time. All of us are insiders. We all have a covenant with God, and He's promised to do these things for us. He said it's not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs. Calling healing, He was literally calling divine healing and deliverance the children's bread. That's good to know, because now we are the children. And now that healing covenant, that healing power, delivering power of God is our bread. It's our right. It's our privilege. It's something God has provided for us willingly and gladly. And so things have changed since this time because of Jesus' resurrection. But even in that state, the woman said, even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And Jesus answered and said to her, O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. So once again, we can say that God's will is healing for all.
Visit gregfritz.org to download the MP3s and watch the streaming video for free by entering code FREE at checkout.